And take us away.
All right, I get to do the sign-ins. I like this. All right, so spawning in the bottom right position, we have Startail Ace as the red Protoss. And in the top right position, we have FXO's QXC, the bandana Terran, spawning as the purple Terran. Terran.
Yes.
And I actually just saw one of our IPL broadcasters, Josh Shaw, peeking in here. Big shout out to our broadcasters, Josh, Lonnie, and Chris. Whenever you guys are in the chat talking to the person on the IGN Pro League account, that is one of those 3 people.
Yes.
And they're all really cool, and they help you answer your questions and mob the chat. So shout out to them.
And speaking of questions, if you guys have any questions, please send them in to us on Twitter. Check out our Twitter at IGN Pro League. So we do respond to questions that we get on there. We have people monitoring that all the time, and we're even happy to answer your questions on air a good portion when we are live. So send them in, and follow us on our other social media at Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Justin TV as IGN Pro League. So here we go. Game number 2, QXE with that disgusting one base all in game number 1, actually all in a couple of times. And but it worked out pretty well for him. It caught Ace off guard, and like we said, no harm, no foul. He's not that player all the time, just got to know when to switch it up. We're on Taldra Maltra, a much bigger map. Clearly Ace does not want cheesy all-in play. He wants to play the macro game here. And looks like he will get that, as going to be much harder for QXE to reinforce from a barracks all the way back here.
Yeah, and they're actually spawning on the same side of the map here, so the rush distance isn't as long as it could have been.
Certainly.
But it looks like both players going for standard. QXE is taking his gas this time.
Yes.
So
no sort of a gasless FE or things like that, which I actually really love playing one Rex gasless FE on this map. It's really easy. Drop down that extra expansion, just put 1 bunker in the front, go up to like 4 racks or something like that, double gas, and just get a bunch of Marina Marauder upgrades and overwhelm your opponent against a player who's it's good enough to hold off a 4-gate against players who are deciding to do like a 3-gate robo timing. You can jump in there with 4 racks pressure. It's a really versatile, fun build. And it looks like QXE is actually opening pretty similarly to what we saw last time. It does have Reactor first, but it's still going to be 2 racks pressure to start.
Yeah, Reactor going down, and Startail Ace right now is getting that full scout off, that probe going behind the mineral line, finding out, how does he already know about that gas? He must have already made a pass through.
Yeah.
This is his 2nd pass, and that Marine's going to try to micro. Is he going to get the probe? Yes, he does!
Probe! Goes down.
Chrono boosting a Stalker out here before the Zealot. I actually really like this against Terran. One of my favorite openers against Terran is the 3 Stalker Rush. And that actually puts... in low masters, you will actually kill people with that.
Yeah.
You actually will kill players that are not expecting 3 Stalkers to show up at the ramp when they have like 2 Marines, maybe 1 Marauder.
Yeah.
If you micro properly, you can do a ton of damage, force them to pull SCVs to repair a supply depot at the very least.
I will have to try my gasless FE with a bunker at the front against your 3 Stalker Rush. I wonder how it plays. We need to. You and I just need to start playing more.
Absolutely.
So I've made a vow to hit Masters before IPL AC. I'm upper diamond right now, but certainly have a lot of work to go. So here we go.
I've been slacking on my laddering as well. Got to pick it back up.
Indeed. Indeed. Such is the story of our lives. Here we go. 1 gate FE now for Ace. He decided to drop down a 2nd gate after that, not going right into a robo. QXE, on the other hand, he does have his command center coming up, and there is his small pack of units getting ready, this time with less SCVs accompanying.
Yeah, just 5 Marines and a single Marauder pushing out here. And this actually is pretty dangerous if you look at the army of... he's going to spot it with the Stalker early, which is very good. It's going to give him the amount of time. He only has a sentry, 2 sentries and a Stalker right now. What's being constructed out of that gateway is a 3rd sentry.
Another sentry.
So that's actually not a lot of DPS to deal with all those Marines.
Good positioning, though. I always love when Protoss players position 1 unit here on the high ground, because you can usually, you won't pick off any one particular unit, but you'll do at least 50 damage or something like that combined between the units that actually make their way up the ramp. So I always know that's so annoying whenever I'm doing a bio push and there's 2 Stalkers that are sitting there like, ha ha ha, you can't see me. So let's take a look here. Ace does have his 3 warp gates in process now. It looks like QXE was discovered, so decided not to go ahead with his push.
Yeah.
Didn't even get concussive shell, honestly. So doesn't look like he was intending to do too much damage. Just wanted to establish map control, it looks like.
Yeah, take those towers back, which is a good decision. His factory's going down right now, turning his extra command center into an orbital. Going to float that over shortly to his natural.
And here we go. Now Ace does have quite a few units. He's got 4 Stalkers to go along with those Sentries, and he's going to be able to warp in quite a few more here in a bit. There's the Robo that we were talking about before. Now, both these players have had a pretty tough path to get to where they're at as well. QXE went through VP Cursed, Check 6 MK, because I never knew how to pronounce MK's name, and then Rain's new Korean pickup, #1 Grandmaster in the world for quite a while. That was Rain Artist. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, certainly had quite the path to get there.
That's a big scalp right there.
Yeah,
Rain
certainly.
Artist. He's been turning heads since his arrival in Rain, and very confident, very solid Terran player.
And Ace, on the other hand, he actually went through Dignitas Mers, then Risano, another very good Grandmasters European player, and then knocked out his teammate Startail Trickster, a.k.a. Tester.
No.
So he has gone through Mers, the guy who plays at 1 trillion APM, and it's all very effective as well. He's an absolutely great player. Then going through Risano, and then finally Trickster. That is quite the lineup. So both these players have gone through very, very good players to get where they're at.
Yeah, and it looks like he's taken out the Destructible Rocks to take his 3rd here is Ace, and that's unfortunate about team-killing Trickster. Tester actually was my favorite player in the early StarCraft 2. I just loved watching him play in GOM, and there was a lot of hype around him, his control and his play. Unfortunately, he hasn't been doing well as of late. I think he actually did pretty poorly at this last MLG. And also in his GOM performances, I believe he's Code A now.
Yeah, but, you know, he has the potential to get back up there, and we obviously saw a lot of his brilliance earlier on, as you were talking about, so would fully expect him to get back up there as time goes along. But here we are. We have a little bit...
Sue, pick it up, man.
And, of course, as Artosis was talking about over the past weekend at MLG, doesn't matter if no one in the audience is a fan of him, he is going to back his roommate for quite a while, so his former roommate. But here we are. 2 racks at the moment. 2 racks plus reactored starport, so a lot of money going into upgrades and a lot of money going into those medevacs. It looks like he wants to make a very strong timing push. We'll probably do this behind a couple... No, he's not even producing 2 more medevacs. I thought this was going to be a 4 medevac push, but not going to be the case. He's just going to run in with what units he has.
Yeah, and this is an awkward timing here. Charge is about halfway done. We've got the Templar Archives on the way. This could hit at a very, very awkward time for Ace here. Let's see if QXE decides to rush up the ramp and just go for it. He drops the scan.
And here he goes. He's going to stem up, and he's got to do damage right away. Oh, a couple of good force fields go down. The front run of units was going to get taken out. QXE with some nice micro, though, picks up a couple of those units and then micros their way to the back. And I don't think he's going to be able to attack into this force again. He may be able to do some coordinated drops around this side, but it's going to be difficult for him to head right into that force.
Yeah, there's also very nice micro from Ace there, pulling back the Zealots after killing the units in front of the force field. That's a very nice little micro touch to Protoss. He's going to go ahead and harass, take out this extractor here from the low ground. Let's see here. The Templar Archives is up. Is he going to research Storm or use that for Archons primarily? We'll have to wait and see here.
Imagine it'll be Archons at first, and then he'll go into Storm as time goes along.
Yeah, you actually need a 3rd for that to support this much. And he did just drop his 3rd, so there we go.
QXE making his way over to the right-hand side, though, so he may pick up on this pretty early, but Ace already has his units in position to receive any sort of
a single Marine? Very nice scouting there from QXE. Just sends a single Marine to see if he has, in fact, taken his 3rd, and he has.
But there's already an observer sitting here for Ace, so he's going to be able to see these units pretty well. Here we go, 2 Archons in the mix, and more good force fields, and dear God, those Archons can do so much damage, and a medevac may go down. No, manages to get away.
Force field's working against him there.
Yeah, and Zealot cleans up the Marine that was scouting this 3rd, so... Bam! There we are. Ace going to make a pretty strong push up now. If he was able to catch any of those medevacs, it would be devastating to QXE. But as it stands, QXE has 3 bunkers in place, and he doesn't really have to worry about an attack coming out of Ace for a while. Imagine Ace is just going to set himself in macro mode, go up to like 3 base, 200 food army or something like that. As we see, he's researching Storm. So
yeah, charge lot Archons, a very solid build. I think I saw this probe throw something down here. It was a pylon. I guess he wants to check the timing there. I don't think he's trying to proxy any tech. I think he's just putting that up for some vision to see maybe either drops or when QXE's taking his 4th it would be. Or I mean,
I've seen a ton of players though that have completely bypassed the 3rd because of the destructible rocks and things like that, and they just put up their 4th anyway because it's out of vision and things like that. So I actually like that. I think that's a very, very good play out of Ace.
It's a good pylon placement there. He's got 3 bunkers and 3 supply depots. QXE is being super safe right now. But Ace has no. Looks like he's not trying to attack anytime soon. He's just macroing up.
Yeah, and Ace actually favoring attack upgrades, which is kind of interesting. I have been loving the QXE style, just heavy. He does like a +2 armor charge lot Archon attack, and it's ridiculous. Think of it. You know, you get the 1 armor from the Zealot, you get the +2 armor from the +2 upgrade, you get +2 armor from Guardian Shield. We'll cancel that, though, because QXE attacking down here at the 3rd, but he is going to be pushed away by all of these charge lots. The rest
Feedback
of the units
that
are picked
medevac!
up.
Oh, it doesn't have any Templar out. Storm is about 70% done. I
Yep.
really would have loved to see a feedback on that medevac. But yeah, that's a great point, Cats. And looks like he might... He's just checking to see what's up here, trying to cut off any medevacs. But I think he just actually missed the medevacs. They're right below him. Yep.
Oh, no. And QXE... Oh, wow. He's actually going to be pinched here in between units if he decides to make his way back in. Or if he decides to run his way up to the top, he's going to be sorely disappointed as well, as there's a bunch of Archons waiting for him. All right.
I think he might try to snipe the Nexus, but he's not going to have enough DPS or time to do so. We'll have to see if he decides to go for that. He's actually going to pick off a Pylon. It's a good decision. Start attacking those probes. Now he is going after the Nexus. I don't think he's going to get it in time, but it's going to be close.
And looks like he's going to make his way around to try and pick off as many probes, I would imagine, or he's going to try and pick up in his medevacs. He does,
so
and the medevacs get away again. They're going to drop their way into the... Nope, not going to be able to drop their way into the main.
Can he feedback that from there? Oh, yes, he can!
Oh, beautiful play.
Very nice.
Drops down the Archon after that. Definitely a highlight there.
Love that.
And so we have QXE now. He's just trying to build off of these 3 bases as much as possible, going to his 4th as well. Looks like we have a probe sitting around here at the top left-hand corner still. Probably just being used for scouting purposes at the moment. This Pylon still has not detected anything in general, but all right. Looks like Ace has a pretty good advantage, though. He's deflected most of the harassment, the attacks. He's kept his 3rd alive the entire time. He's playing that macro game that he's wanted to. I've got to say, it's been a very successful game out of him so far.
Yeah, this is looking very solid from Ace. He's going to go ahead and scout the 3rd from QXE as well as the 4th command center on the way with this charge lot, who's actually going to go ahead and kill a couple SCVs as well.
Yep, and looks like that is on... No, it's not on hold position. It was actually on attack, but changing its target priority for a little while means it only gets 2 SCV kills, but nonetheless did its damage. We do see Ace's army moving down here to the bottom left-hand side. I don't know if it was just checking for units or what the case is. And 1 Zealot now finally being sent down for map control purposes. Looks like there is, in fact, a Marine sitting there, as the probe did go down, but Ace is going to be able to relatively safely take his 4th. At the same time, 2 more charge lots making their way in, and those are actually going to be able to wreak quite a bit of havoc.
Yeah, QXE's army's way out of position here to deal with this. Let's see if he turns around or just sends us a couple units out.
Actually hasn't sent anything
Wow.
yet. There we go. A couple of units are up. The bunker is going to finish, but the SCVs have started to fall. That's quite a bit of workers killed. Uh-oh, and EMP does go down. Takes out the energy from a couple of these High Templar. They have not morphed into an Archon, though. Looks like Ace just wants to move up and engage into this force straight up. That is actually a pretty good number of ghosts.
It's going to be a feedback
10
versus EMP standoff here. Whoever lands the nicer ones wins, and also storms. Here we go. Force fields. Oh my goodness, he just EMP'd everything in that Protoss army. I really don't think that's what Ace was accepting. Feedback's going down. Zealots coming in to clean up. This looks like this is going to be almost a wash here, but QXE has a couple forces left over. He's going to push in to Startail Ace's natural.
Hardly any feedbacks going down. 1 or 2, I think, maybe from Ace there. But those EMPs, that line of EMPs that went across those units was just ridiculous.
Almost in unison. Like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
That was pretty.
QXE going into beast mode, but that's all right. It looks like this, here we go. This Pylon finally showing its use now is going to pick up the orbital command that's floating its way across. We actually have a Nexus coming up here on the top left-hand side, which is actually pretty clever, because even if it doesn't do a whole lot, or even if it doesn't mine for very long, it'll still return a little bit of a profit before QXE is able to pick up on that, and it'll leech away quite a few minerals from his side of the map.
That's a very good point. Yeah, it's a curious position for that, though, because that's one of QXE's next natural bases, so I feel like he might be gearing up to do some kind of attack here. He doesn't expect the game to go that much longer, but we'll have to see if that's what QXE has in mind as well. There's the SCV transfer. Observer knows all about it.
And what I saw was a pretty good advantage for Ace before is starting to slip away. Now, QXC is on 4 bases, matching his opponent. Of course, he does have those orbital commands, dropping mules all down all over the place. 6 of them actually down at the same time right now, most of them over here at the top left-hand corner. But here we go. Looks like a pylon warping in, and this is going to be cute. I always love the Templar on the high ground. Storming units down there is very, very effective. QXC has healed up most of his forces, though. Still has a good number of ghosts, and they are accumulating quite a bit of energy. Looks like we're gearing up for another big showdown here. Is QXC starting to make his way down? Is Ace going to engage into this? Yes, he is. The first couple of storms go down, but the EMPs were perfect. Actually, 2 EMPs taking out all of the energy from all of the Templar. The Charge Lot's going to make their way in, though, tanking a good bit of damage. My God, those are powerful, but it's still not enough. QXC going to make his way out. It does not appear as though Ace wants to risk his very expensive Archons quite yet. He's going to build another force back at home first.
Yeah, no, some more great EMPs there from QXC, just destroying those Templars' energy, forcing Ace to turn them into Archons. And unfortunately, that pylon, I believe, was denied. Oh no, I guess he kept it up, but since Kadaran Amulet was taken out of the game, you can no longer warp in Storm, so if you did warp in a Templar, you have to wait. But here we go with QXC putting some pressure on Ace's 4th and about to discover 1,000,000 probes. What is this?
Oh, wow. But the Archons are doing some work, and QXC has to back up because all of his medevacs are caught out of position there. They're not going to be able to heal up any units. Behind. Yeah, nice flank as well. QXC going to lose those units and didn't actually take out the Nexus as well. So a very nice hold there out of Ace. He's going to be able to transfer some probes back as well. And that went about as well as expected. Looks like this pylon did finally go down. But no mining being done.
Does QXC know about this base yet?
We'll find out in just a second as these Marauders are trying to move away. All right, now we have a little bit of time. Let's take a look. Ooh, wow.
No idea.
He came close to seeing it.
Yeah. I'm surprised that scan didn't catch the cannon, or actually it's pretty far away. So, oh, this thing has a storm, doesn't it? Only 1 though. He's not gonna be able to kill anything but the mules with that 1 storm.
Well, let's
see. There's 2 red ones.
Yeah, some of these are pretty low. You could get down the clutch storm. We'll find out. So
I would try to get save him up for 2 storms, maybe get a 2nd Templar in there.
Yeah, we'll find out though. He is saving up for a little while. Going to wait for a little bit better saturation. At the moment, though, QXC had quite a few medevacs, so he's just reproducing mainly bioforces. He does have 3 ghosts following this, 1 additional medevac, but that's about all. Upgrades are very, very good for both players. We have 3-1-3 done here for Ace, and he's going to 2nd Protoss Shields upgrade as well, which are actually very, very important for Archons. Especially if you have a primary Archon force. Uh-oh.
He has to have seen the base now. How did those units get up there? Oh, he sees it, yeah. And he was going to... Oh, feedback!
Oh, God, good feedback! Oh, and he takes out the medevac as well. Beautiful job. So Ace still going to do some mining up here. Looks like QXC going to force the rest of his attention up there in just a second. But this has still been a big nuisance. The Templar up here killed a few units before. On top of that, he's denied a 5th base from being put up. And he started to receive a profit as well. So, all in all, I think that was a pretty effective move.
Yeah, it looks like this base is not long for this world, though. As though we have an engagement in the middle here.
Yeah, and it looks like the Archons actually get torn up first because the meat shield of the Zealots was a little bit out of position. And the EMPs were actually quite effective. There we go. They are actually cloaked to those ghosts as well, but it doesn't matter because the Charge Lots are making their way in and doing a considerable amount of damage. Nice kiting here out of QXC, though. The medevacs were able to provide a critical amount of support. Let's actually take a look here. Looks like this base is finally going to go down in the top left-hand corner. I still think it was cute. I still think Ace, you had a great idea there. Nonetheless, all the probes are going to get cleaned up, and looks like Ace is going to retreat back to these bases as he is expanding to his 5th and 6th.
I'm not so sure about that expansion. There might be some crazy reasons with that. I don't understand why he wouldn't take 1 in the bottom left first before that. Unless he was really trying to trick QXC.
Yeah.
I really wasn't sure.
I think he just wanted to use it to pull units out of position, to warp in units on the high ground, to start stealing a few of his resources. I thought it was fun. Even if it didn't last as long as he would have liked, I still think it was a fun move. But
yeah, and these probes here look like they have some poor timing on this transfer. They're going to go straight into QXC's army.
They're good with it, though.
But it looks like they're chasing away the Marauders, who actually turn around and say, oh, hi.
And here we go. Charge Lot's going to make their way up in just a second. Should pin a few of those units down at the same time. Though QXC is going to try and deny this Nexus down to the bottom left-hand corner. Looks like he's actually splitting his forces. But Charge Lots are coming in, driving a lot of those bioforces away. Looks like QXC is just going to content himself with 1 Nexus
is he
kill.
Get this Nexus?
It's going to be pretty close. The Nexus down to 300 points of health. 200 points, 100, and just 2 units left. Oh, God! Ace pulled away. If he would have just committed to killing those Marauders, he would have gotten the last one. Nonetheless, still very, very close. And this game has been extremely even.
Yeah, let's see what kind of kind of production we've got here. QXC is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. Ace is on 5, almost 6 now.
Almost 6, yeah. This one's going back up. Let's actually take a look. 4 gateways there, 4, 8, 10, 12 gateways, single robo. The robo hasn't really been used all that much. So he's on 12 gate, DT Shrine coming in now.
Yeah, Dark Shrine. Let's take a look at the upgrade difference right now. Let's look at QXC. He's on 3-3
and 3-2-3.
3-2-3. Wow.
Yeah.
So these units are almost at the strongest upgrade point, 3-3-3. Shield upgrades are actually really ridiculous.
And it looks like QXC was putting up orbital commands everywhere, so Planetary is not going to defend this expansion. At the same time, looks like QXC is just going to counterattack. He did run a few units up there. A few workers did go down. 29 workers killed to 21, so almost a wash at this point, especially with production. But QXC leading with those ghosts. Once they get down to EMPs, he wants to engage, and he is going to do so. Nice job by Ace to hold these High Templar to the back.
Very smart.
And there we go. Oh, but a clutch EMP goes down, and all those High Templar are out of energy, morphing into Archons as fast as they can. But my God, Archons and Zealots are good at tanking damage. QXC finally going to gain the upper hand, though, and he's going to push his way through and deny the rest of these Archons. A few more charge lots making their way in to try and clean up the rest that they can. And it looks like QXC is going to hold this. Yes. But they haven't gone down yet. There they go, finally.
That cloaked ghost is doing work over there. Check how many kills those guys have. 5 for one of them.
5, and 2. So 12 kills between those.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. And that was also why he was able to drop those EMPs. Ace thought it was safe to bring the Templar forward. The ghosts were cloaked in there, just getting their little snipe pew-pews off.
All orbital commands for QXC, and all with built-up energy as well, so he's not been able to take advantage of those. And I think PS would help his economy a little. Or, not helped his economy, but in the sense that they would have been able to protect these bases up here at the top left-hand corner and stuff like that.
Yeah, from those little 2 Zealot warp in harass,
or
which
even
is
if we
actually
have a DT.
super effective.
Yeah.
Well, you DT in a turret, yeah, or a planetary in a turret would deter a DT, but yeah.
Right.
It's a great move, setting just 2 Zealots. And what's this up here? Is this an Observer?
And looks like that's
it's another little Zealot.
A patrolling Zealot.
Just running around.
We have another
looking
command
for hidden
center.
bases, and he's about to probably find this 5th for QXC. That's so many medevacs. I feel like that's almost too many medevacs for the amount of forces he has right now.
But
and
to
they're
his
all
credit,
so low.
They've all survived, and he just hasn't reproduced.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had those when he had a much more significant bioforce, and he just hasn't reproduced any since then because they haven't died. But
20 supply and medevacs right there.
Yeah. And here we go. A couple of photon cannons up. Templar behind us well to provide some feedback support. And so it looks like we are going to have the engagement.
Oh, no.
Templar going down for free. Photon cannons are going to fall very quick after that. He's running down some units at the bottom left-hand corner. And let's see, does he have any DTs in the mix? No. Oh, there we go. One trailing DT going to take on the entire Terran army. Go DT. Oh, scan goes down and it gets killed.
Almost got one Marauder. Valiant effort from that DT.
Oh, actually, it looks like DT may have come down here to this side and denied the mining for quite a while. But never mind that. QXE is going to push through, and he is going to take out this base, I believe. No, he's actually being flanked on both sides.
Wow.
The charge lot's doing quite a bit of damage. These medevacs have still not gone down. Looks like they are going to pick up their forces and run away. A couple of key shots would do a world of hurt. Look at these super low medevacs. Man.
Yeah, this is a very interesting build here from Ace. I guess he just really hates Stalkers in PvT, and he's just going pure Zealot, Archon, High Templar. This DT is going to do some work right now.
Yeah, it is. We actually have a Reaper pack coming out of QXE as well. I really like that. I really love QXE's late-game Reapers. They're able to move around the base and just kill structures so quick. It's ridiculous. And this DT is indeed doing work. 9 kills already. He's completely denied the mining of this top left-hand expansion. That means QXE is down to, well, not much mining once that base goes away.
Yeah, and you almost forget that Reapers are in the game because they're so seldomly used nowadays. So this really could surprise. I know.
Oh, wow. This is actually, I'm sorry, I don't mean to break in right there, but the charge lots, just by being down there, that was 7 mules.
They were just called down,
yeah, that means that's 2,100 resources, basically, that just went down the drain. So that's actually really, really critical.
Those mules are just trucking it away across Tal'Darim there. I don't think they're going to get much done. Really nice multitasking from Ace here, just trying to deny these expos. I think he's rebuilding his bases down there on the bottom left as well. Is Ace right now?
Let's see. Yep, there's one, and this one never did go down.
That's
so
right.
Yeah, there we go. Doing a little bit of long distance mining with a couple of these probes, but yeah, here we have it. This is pretty impressive, and look at this. No mining being done, and the Dark Templar gets right back in. It's going to start taking out these mules. Very nice job. Oh, scan does go down. Is he going to get it? Yes. DT falls.
And those mules actually got 1 trip of minerals that ran across the map, so they actually did some work. Let's take a look at the income tab real quickly
Feel
there.
free. Oh, Ace is way ahead.
Wow.
Double
yeah.
the rate right now, even with mules down. More mules are going to be called
Well,
down.
he's got double the workers almost. 97 to 55 right now. Looks like that Zealot DT Harass has been doing a ton of work. Let's look at workers killed.
Yep, absolutely. It is 29
Wow,
to 29.
dead
both,
even.
Yeah, both actually even. So we'll find
Ace
out.
has just been
Ace,
better on his pro production than.
I've gotta say though, knowing that worker deficit, that makes QXC's army seem a lot more intimidating because there's a 40 worker deficit. That's all in army supply at the moment. But
there's almost 4 storms there.
yeah, if he's able to get those storms down or a couple
I
of
would
clutch
go for
feedbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 3 feedbacks on each of those. That's 6 medevacs or 6 ghosts that are done just immediately. We'll see if he's able to do that here in a bit. But we have a little bit of a standstill. Is there any DT harassment going on? No. I was wondering what was causing everyone to sit there for a moment. But here we go. QXC going to make his way across.
EMP with the
and
scan.
snipe. Oh, so
what a
good.
ridiculous scan that was.
It's good though.
In the high ground, EMPing. 2 Templar with almost full energy.
Protest QQ coming out of Ron now. But that's okay. Here we go. Chargelot's going to make their way in. The Colossus goes down right away. And a nice tech switch out of him as well. Because Double Colossus, he knows that QXC doesn't have the starport
DT's going to work on those ghosts right there.
Wow.
In combination with the storm.
Really doing a nice job. There we go. Scans finally do clean those up. But again, I'm going to go back to the Colossus switch here. I actually really like this because he knows that QXC doesn't have the starport infrastructure down. Let's actually take a look. My God, there's only 1 starport out, and it's actually producing medevacs, not Vikings. So these Colossi are going to be pretty damn powerful.
Yeah, we get both armies right now pretty battered, but we've got Archons. Blink finally on the way. It looks like he's finally going to build some Stalkers and kill all these medevacs.
Yeah, and wow, DT's running amok at the moment, actually doing quite a bit of damage. Observer patrolling back and forth. QXC finally doing a good bit of mining over here at the top left expansion as he builds another command center. But now, Ace actually banking resources. For what purpose, I'm not sure. There we go. 2 more Colossi coming down. Could just spam Zealots for a little while off of 14 gates.
He's probably just gas capped, or actually not at all. He has 600 gas, so
yeah,
I really don't know why he's
double
banking
Colossi
right now. That's probably why he wants to just use his last food for Colossus production.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Build another Robo.
Yeah, you would
2
think.
more.
And here we go, attack coming in at the right-hand side, and the Reaper's actually pretty powerful against Zealots, but not necessarily Charge Lots. The Charge Lots get in there and deal quite a bit of damage.
I don't know about that
goes
decision
down,
QXC.
and pulling all of his SCVs, and he is down to 48 workers, relying on mostly his mules at this point. And QXC going to make his way down to the bottom left-hand side. The map is significantly mined at the moment. And here we go. We're going to have an engagement as QXC is going to see these forces. And, oh, feedbacks! Nice! Catch 1 medevac. Almost catches 3 more with an additional storm. We'll probably see another storm go down here in a second. That should be able to cap off the rest of the medevacs.
Oh, no.
Oh, Colossus misrally.
1 shot.
Yep, and this base goes down, but it was all mined out anyway, so not that big of a loss for Ace.
Wow, so it turns out 3-3 Marauders do some pretty good damage.
They're pretty good, yo.
Yeah.
And here we go, waiting for the storms. No, just EMPs, mass EMPs, as a matter of fact. QXC going to drive that force back, and he's still up by 50 workers, so that gives him plus the 30 supply advantage. He is up by 80 supply in army at the moment.
Wow.
So that is actually really significant. QXC looks poised to move on to the semifinals. We'll see if Ace is able to hold. He's got a number of Zealots here. Those are going to get torn up immediately. My God, 3-3 bio is so good. Work gates are going to start to be camped. And what is Ace going to do to come back against this? I know he has some Colossi. Oh, it looks like he eventually did end up moving those out. He's got to start spamming gateways here in just a second, otherwise he's going to lose all of his production. Is he counterattacking?
Nope, he's coming back now.
No.
He's heading back. I was seeing on the
Okay.
mini-map. He's going to come back and try to deal with this force. He's actually being very indecisive with his troops there in the middle of the map. Now it looks like he's running back. No.
There we go. Let's see.
He's going back and forth like...
3 Colossi is actually pretty intimidating to this force. And we'll see if QXC decides to engage. It looks like he's just hanging back a few forces, going to continue to take out this Nexus. And 1 DT, actually, because of the amount of forces that were committed back here, 1 DT should be enough to win the day for him. But here we go. The, oh my God, Storm's going down, and the Ghosts are going to fall. Archon's being made, but look at these Colossi! Oh my God! Say what you will about 3-3 bio. That was a disgusting amount of damage that was just dealt out by those Colossi. That bio force just collapsed.
Yep, those are also 3-3 Colossi, so also nothing to sneeze at. It's
No,
a very
not at all.
solid ball there from ST Ace, and it looks like he's going to move out here and put some pressure.
And here we go. A couple more units moving in. The Zealots taking damage. The Bioforces have to move back for QXC. And the Colossi doing their work. One Colossus goes down. But the Archons were able to clean up these Vikings. These very unupgraded Viking. Well, actually 0-2. So they are going to do pretty good damage, but they can't exactly tank a lot of on their own. If they're caught out in the open, Ace should be able to go through those pretty quickly. So now Ace at a 30 supply advantage. He's still down by 50 workers. Wow. So that's about a 20 army deficit from him, but he should be able to reproduce a lot faster as QXC is pretty starved on resources.
Yeah, he's only mining from 2 or 3 bases. I think it's 3, right? Oh, there's
kind
1,
of a
2,
half, not really,
and this one is being denied by a
there.
DT.
Wow.
Ace has 3 mining bases.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on over here? I think there's some kind of harassment at this expansion. Yep, Zealots deny him. Once again, the Mule's getting called down and instantly denied by the Zealot Warpin. Really good heads up from Ace. And so that means that QXC is on 3 mining bases, and Ace is on 3, soon to be 4 mining bases as well. So this has become a 3-base on 3-base again since they're mined out.
3, and yep, there's going to be the 4th here in just a second. But QXC is virtually mined down to this top left expansion, like you were saying before. DTs were denying this base for quite some time, and he actually did run low on energy for quite a while on these orbital commands, so he's not going to be able to spam mules down there. He wasted them all over on the right-hand side, but he's trying to reproduce his SCVs there as quick as possible. But during that time, Ace actually maxed himself once again. 2 more Colossi joining the fight. There are only 3 Vikings on the field. I hate to tell you, QXC, but that's not going to be enough to defend against the 4 Colossi, 3 Archon, and ridiculous number of Stalkers and Charge Lots that Ace has on the field. He's going to need to mount up one big defense. Looks like it's pure Marauder Ghost over on the left-hand side of the map, and we're looking for a big showdown here in a bit.
Yeah, and because of the staggering worker deficit right now, 50 more workers for Startail Ace. The longer this game goes, the more it favors him over QXC. So QXC really has to get something going right now, maybe do some very good drops or just a miracle, really, because he's pretty far behind right now.
Yeah, he is. And he was playing it, I thought, an advantage through a good portion of this game. He was handling the DT pressure pretty well. He was doing a lot of coordinated damage to the Charge Lot Archon force, but never mind that. Here we go. Big engagement going on, and the Colossi doing work once again. Looks like they're going to be targeted down first, but that's allowing these Archons to run amok. 2 more Colossi catch up as well. Just a couple of Vikings trying to deny them, and they're going to go down pretty quickly. We may have had another engagement that was a wash.
Yeah.
But look at this. Ace has 4,400, 1,400 in the bank versus just the 400 minerals of QXC. So Ace is going to be able to reproduce quite a bit quicker, and a lot of QXC's army is tied up in medevacs at the moment. Those are going to fall down. Subsequent warpins going down. It looks like QXC is going to lose his last remaining mining bases, trying to produce as many units as he can, but that I don't think is going to be enough, and I think he is going to be forced to tap out.
Yeah, this is not looking good for QXC right now. He could try some kind of desperation counter into the main, but it looks like all these SCVs are going to be taken out by the Charge Lots. Sorry, you cannot pass.
Wow. That is...
None of them are getting through.
All right.
Sorry.
Yes. So all those units go down. It looks like we have a 2 SCVs that decide they wanted to throw their heads into the pit as well. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out very well for them. QXC has a few forces here in the middle of the map, but Ace is at 177 supply once again. Could just gather up a big push and then crush his opponent, especially as we have Vikings in the mix now, and that's just going to be dead weight, because I don't think any Colossi have been rebuilt. No, they have not. It's all DTs, Charge Lots, Archons, things like that. So here we go. Coordinated push from Ace. He splits his forces, able to trap so many units. QXC, GG's.
There it is. Wow, that was a very epic game right there.
Holy cow. All right, so that was actually a pretty significantly long game. And honestly, I really thought it was back and forth there. I thought QXC had his chances, especially when he was doing a great job denying the 5th and 6th bases down here at around the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
And he was ahead significantly in army. He didn't have a ton of workers because he had so much invested in his mules. I really thought he could have made a big push and won the game. I think when he was camping production structures down here at the bottom right, I thought he was going to win with that push, and I was a little surprised to see him pull back half his forces because Ace was only responding to the pressure. He could have trapped all those units at the choke point here and just camp production facilities.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been all right.
Yeah, I think he was worried about a counter.
Possibly,
because,
yeah.
Ace was posturing like he was going to go counter the main of QXC, but I actually think what won Ace this game was his beautiful multi-pronged harass at all of the 4th, 5th, and 6th bases of QXC dropping a couple, two, three zealots here and there, a DT here and there, just never stopping with the harassment, would not let QXC mine in peace. Every time mules dropped down, it seemed like there was 2 zealots just around the corner to come and slash them up. So really good there from QXC, long macro game, or Ace rather, long macro, very nice composition as well with the upgraded charge lots, Archons, and some Storms.
And there we go. So we are going to head into game number 3 in just a second. And so that was ridiculous. All right, but we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, guys. Game number 3, the final game of the set, coming up in just a minute.
Stay tuned.